take it to the Lord in prayer. That's what I heard here. Are you troubled? Take it to the Lord in prayer. Do thy friends despise forsake thee? Take it to the Lord in prayer. So thank you very much for my teachers who sang a beautiful song. It was not really like the spirit was waiting, and then the flesh was weak. I could still feel the somberness of your word. So thank you very much. We are not yet finished. Sometimes this is what we do to ourselves. We think that we are finished. We are not finished. As long as we are able to talk the language of the Lord, then the next generation will be able to hear you. So I heard you sounding. So there was nothing like there was weakness, no. For me, it was, melody was good. I could say bass. Usually when you are water, there's no bass. People speak. They start speaking. So you are not yet old, eh? And I can see some of the people that you taught, they look older than yourselves. So take it to the Lord in prayer. So senior government officials, esteemed alumni, distinguished guests, former and current teachers, students, and friends of Rusangu Secondary School, members of the press, let me say, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with great joy and pride that I stand before you today at this historic event, the first ever Rusangu Secondary School Alumni Association reunion and fundraising event in support of Rusangu Secondary School. As I look around, I see a lot of lives that have been touched and shaped in diverse ways by the school, whose contributions today will ensure its continued success for generations to come. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm informed that Rusangu's boarding facilities are disproportionately skewed against female students. This imbalance is not only an infrastructural issue, but also one of equity. As the enrollment of girls at Rusangu increases, the necessary infrastructure to support their education and ensure they have equal access to a safe and conducive learning environment must be available. The construction of the dormitories will be a significant step towards promoting gender equality in education. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I commend the alumni for their vision and generosity in leading this fundraising effort. Your commitment to the future of Rusangu Secondary School and its students is truly inspiring. I want to emphasize government's commitment to education as cornerstone for national growth. Government is dedicated to creating an educational environment where every child can achieve their fullest potential. Educational reforms have consistently focused on expanding access, improving infrastructure, and enhancing the quality of teaching across all levels. Since 2021, we have been prioritizing major investments into the education sector, from ensuring that our schools are adequately resourced with teaching staff, through continuous recruitment of thousands of teachers, to construction of new schools throughout the country. Crucially, one of the government's key priorities is empowering girls through education. Girls' education is not only a matter of equality, but a powerful lever for societal progress, and the research has shown that when girls are educated, entire communities benefit. Let me pause here, Dr. Monyongwe. How I've been accused myself. Why do you champion girl child? And so are you trying to leave a boy child? These people have argued with me in Parliament itself. And I've given this example to say that before the declaration of a free education, we did not know how many girl children were left out of school. When we did that, we have 2 million children now in school. More than half of those children are girls. So what was happening? It means that the parents or guardians, if they had money to take their children to school because of school fees, they paid for the boy. And the girl remained at home. So why do you want to accuse me to say that you are now promoting girls? I've got children. I've got boy children as well myself. So society must be able to liberate what they have now found out. We have got all these things about keeping girls in school. It's a deliberate ploy in order for a girl child to catch up. It's just a catch-up issue. It's not that we want now. I went to a certain conference, and there was a minister of education from Sierra Leone. She said, we should not emphasize a girl child's education because we are alienating a boy child. I argued, I said, where I'm coming from, these are the statistics. Don't just think or say certain things without you giving examples. And I gave those examples. And this is why, even in our recruitment of teachers, that 30,000 teachers that we recruited, more than half of those were female teachers. It's just a deliberate ploy in order for a girl child to catch up. So sorry, men. I'm injured. In response to these realities, government has implemented policy to improve girls' access to education by constructing more girls' dormitories and safe spaces, especially in rural and underserved areas. Programs that target the unique challenges girls face are designed to keep girls in school, empowering them with skills and knowledge that will benefit them and the nation as a whole. For the year 2025, government has allocated 31.5 billion kwacha to education. That's the highest you can ever have in Southern Africa. Some of the key activities that government intends to undertake with this budget include constructing 166 secondary schools and 480 early childhood education centers across the country, recruitment of more teachers to improve the teacher-pupil ratio. Now let me just say this for your example. In the last 3 years, we have recruited more than 42,000 teachers. More than 42,000 teachers. The current British government, the Labour Party, won an election on the promise that they were going to recruit 6,500 teachers. Yes. The Conservative lost an election because they promised 4,500 teachers. The Labour Party said 6,500 teachers. On a promise, as recruiters, we never even promised anybody that we shall recruit 42,000 teachers within 1 year. What can you say about a president of that nation? He never even said that when he was campaigning. He just said that I'm going to do free education. That was his promise. He never promised any Zambian to say that he was going to recruit how many teachers. No. The Labour Party promised 6,000 teachers. They only had 6 points for them to become in government. 6,000. I'm talking about 6,000. Please take me right. Not 65. 6,500 teachers. They went into government. Here's a person who gives you 42,000 teachers out of the entire spectrum of free education, and 2 million children are now in school. 2 million. Those are not bananas. They're human beings. 2 million. Now can you just check? Let me just say this because Zambians do not want to listen to this. But I'll say it at every forum, I'll say it. Zambia has got a population of 20 million people. We have recruited more than 42,000 teachers. The UK has got 280 million inhabitants. The promise of 6,500 teachers, they were elected to government. 280 million inhabitants. Now, these 2 million children who were out of school, think ahead of the next 20 million. Who are they going to be? Criminals, vagabonds. And then you'll be saying that the police are not working because you created criminals yourselves as a society. So who do you want to blame? This is why these children have to be brought into school. School is part of social control because a boy and a girl has got a defined day that they wake up in the morning to say they are going for parade. They go and knock off at about 11 hours. At 14 hours, they are told production unit. At 16 hours, they have got sport. You are controlling society using the school system. And I know what people said. So have you seen it now? They are congested in the water. That was a better problem than to leave the kids in the streets. And now out of CDF, we've managed to build schools. We've managed to construct desks. Our desks would be imported from China. After the Chinese would get our timber, take it to China. So desks were brought back here to import. Now, something went wrong. And as a Zambian, must be reminded of where we're coming from. Because all of you easily forget. I told the president one day that, unfortunately enough, the memory span of our people is 2 weeks. Yes, I'm talking as a psychologist. And this is why, Dr. Van, you gave me in your Rusangu University, give me a supervisor who I will not supervise. Yes. And because we easily forget, and one time I was telling the president, I think let me just be sharing these things. I mean, I'm not supposed to be doing all these things. Right? The German Minister of Agriculture came here and was looking for a Minister of Education. I said, do I have anything to do with agriculture? I did not know what he felt. 2 days ago, I was with the Israeli ambassador. And I was talking about the agriculture. I said, do I have anything to do with that? He said, everything starts with you. Okay? In education. You will not have a metallurgist if you think that you are going to invest in mining. Where are you going to get metallurgists from? They come from the education system. And this is what the Minister of Agriculture from Germany came and said, I want to see the Minister of Education. I'll explain. Now let me just tell you what I do myself. I never hide our problems. I never. Dr. Munyum, I tell it all. I said, if my directors are there, you start up follow. Sometimes I embarrass them because I say the truth about our country. Alright? Just to make sure that, because if you do not admit that you have a problem, you will never solve it. First of all, admit you have a problem. This is when you can find solutions to those problems. And I tell those colleagues of mine the other time when they were arguing with one another, I said, no. And I told them, I have 17 of them. I went to the Ministry of Finance again, I found the same problem. We cannot afford this. I am now saying this because your alumni, headmaster, Do you have any teachers here? Huh? The ones who are teaching now. You should have brought some of them here so that they hear my word. What we are doing with alumni, we should have also been doing something for them to understand where we're coming from and say that they are there, not as robots. You teach like Dr. Mujumbo said, you teach mathematics, you are going to teach your physics. It will be in vain if you do not teach about values. In order for a kid who gets to become a surgeon, goes in a hospital not to kill people. And this is where you come as a church, teaching about values, ethics, responsibility, and behavior which is meant for society. For the year 2025, I was here. Increase of funds to the school feeding program to 53.14 million. Implement the new national educational curriculum, which we will be doing and we should be announcing the results on Monday. I think my colleagues in the directors have already told which part to me, so that we are doing that on Monday. Procure desks in public schools using CDF, construction of 58 hostel blocks across 8 public universities with a total bed capacity of 1,280, and construction of additional university infrastructure at Syakalima, Mukuba, Kruma, and Palamana universities. Expansion of tertiary infrastructure, particularly in rural areas. Construction of the Chapula Polytechnic Center in Fanyama in partnership with Kaja Mining Limited, and construction of training institutes and student hostels equipped with a state-of-the-art training equipment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to achieve these goals, partnerships with communities and schools are essential. Together we can create an educational landscape where every girl has the resources she needs to succeed, and therefore an important aspect of tonight's event is the opportunity for alumni to give back to their alma mater. Alumni are the lifeline of any educational institution. Now let them address the alumni. Together we can make a meaningful impact on the education system and provide every child with an opportunity to succeed. Trust is the foundation of any successful partnership. And I am confident that the alumni of Rusangu will uphold the highest standards of integrity in this important work. I would like to conclude by saying that investment in education is an investment in the future of our nation. I commend the alumni, the school leadership, the church, and the community for coming together in this effort that ensures the next generation of students will have the opportunities and resources they need to succeed. I thank you for your kind attention, and may God bless you all. But before you come, let me say something out of my own heart, because I think this was written for me. Let me just say this, to appreciate you colleagues, especially the church. Over the years, we lost it as a country. Yes. Over the years, we lost it as a country. I've always shared this with Dr. Maria to say that when we were growing up, if I came across money on the street, I would never hide it. I would look around to check who has dropped it. If I see a person ahead of me, I would run them and say, "Is this yours?" And they were honest enough to say, "This is not mine." That money would trouble you as a kid. You have to go back home and tell your mother or your father, "I found this money on the street." So I do not even know who the owner is. How many children can do that today? They will be looking for Chumbua when they get it. Those are the degradation of morals. And we must inculcate that. And I'm now appealing to the church. Sometimes I feel very bad. That what generation are we going to create in the future? If kids will not grow ethically, if they will have no values. The other time I told the president, you always go because the Constitution allows you to go to Parliament to go and espouse the values of our country, ethical behavior, how much we have achieved in responsibility. I said, who do you talk to? He said, whoever listens on TV, they're the ones I talk to. Then I said, you talk to a difficult audience. The people that you address are damaged. Yes, you can't reconfigure them. If you do that, it will take you 20 years. Let's take this to the very early childhood education. To start teaching values at early childhood, responsibility, what it means to respect others, what it means to say, if this chalk is not yours, don't pick it. And today, people have got pleasure to steal millions. Yes. Us used to be afraid even to get chalk. How much is chalk? Former teachers. Did you even go to say a dust? Okay, dust. So there is moral degradation in this country. And we must admit, and we must appreciate, and we must be able to say that where did we go wrong? Where everybody thought property which is meant for the state, you can get it. It becomes yours. Unacceptable. Quite unacceptable. And we must say all these things. What we have done, there. Wherever we go, we espouse this. I have told people myself, I said, I don't care what we're going to say about me. Africa, find your food. Okay? I know because first of all you were enslaved because you are confused human beings. From slavery, colonialism, now imperialism, mental colonization, and cultural imperialism. This is who you are. You get out of that. We just have to get out of that. But it's not up to us because us are finished. That I can tell you. We are badly damaged. Can we salvage another generation which is to come? Because one day, somebody was whispering to this, I said, the only thing why I say like this is because I've got children and maybe I'll have grandchildren. Somebody will ask them, was Syakalima your grandfather or great-grandfather? Yes, your father was a nuisance. Huh? So, you cry in your grave when your own grandchildren are being mistreated because of your behavior when you are alive. If I'm talking to somebody, I wish I was at the same one on the mountain. But these are things that trouble me. Sometimes I was saying this thing yesterday. I was at the Zambia National Service. All the military were there. I started saying these things to me. I said, maybe I'm misplaced here because these people don't want to hear that. But now here, I'm with people from the church. So I'm at liberty to tell you. Yes. So that all of us together will know to say that in the next 20, 30 years, what type of society are we trying to make? That's all. I told somebody to say that the little time that I still have on earth, I'll do it for the good of society. Yeah. Just for the good of society. This is why I like you. You're some take to the Lord in prayer. The little time that you have sang him, can you ever imagine? It has preached me. Huh? So you still have a chance to take the good news to other people. Others do not want to listen to the word of God. They just refuse because it seems like you was talking about me. I'm not talking about anybody. I'm talking about the way society has behaved. So if I've injured you, I'm sorry. Huh? I always, when they give me these speeches, I always pray first for God to say that. For one time when I didn't even have a speech, I said, God, just help me. Let what gets out of me be able to be understood. That is usually my prayer. So I sat there and I was saying, I will listen. And I hope God will help me. Maybe the faintest voice will be heard. God bless you.